My name is Jen, and today we're gonna do a little haul. So, first off, I have a stack of books right here that I recently got, or I've been getting over the past, couple of months. Oops. And then I also have a few items that I picked up for the future library downstairs, so I figured I could just do an overall book slash library decor haul. So here we go. As far as decor stuff goes, I feel like the last time I talked about things that I was going for a bookish slash witchy vibe kind of thing. My parents visited fairly recently and we did some more work on the basement. My mom and I also ended up stopping by Michael's because I had needed to get something for painting downstairs, finishing off, because we still have one wall that has to be finished. We just put the final mud on a corner, so hopefully we'll be able to sand and actually paint that all this week. I'm doing something a little bit different with downstairs because I don't think we have enough paint to do 2 coats for the whole wall, but it just kind of part of it juts out a little bit, so that whole bit that juts out is going to be purple, and then I'm going to do something a little bit different with the rest of the wall that I'm pretty excited about. But yeah. Anyway, so I was getting supplies for that, and because you can't bring me to a Michael's, I ended up grabbing a couple of other things. A couple of these things, let's see, this was what I paid full price for, I think. They had this 2-for-1 thing on frames, so I grabbed a couple more frames to hold photos and prints and stuff like that for the gallery wall. Maybe for the gallery wall, or it might be on the bookshelves, depends. I also found clearance stuff. I found this that just hangs right up on the wall. Pretty cool. And then I also got these hanging string lights. They're for batteries, so I figure these can either go on the bookshelves, or maybe I can put them up somewhere else in the room, maybe around the window. One side might go. So they're these lanterny ones. These little houses. That was the decor stuff. I ended up getting another couple of cheap prints, but they're not really bookish and they're not for downstairs, they'll be upstairs. But yeah, then we can talk about the books. So as far as book goes, I did get the last couple volumes in After School Charisma and Wild Ones, the manga series that I was trying to finish. I did get the last couple of volumes in both of those series, and I've already read them and talked about them, so I won't spend a lot of time on those. But that was all part of my goal of trying to finish series that I have. So those are 2 more that are done. I still have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 series to finish, pretty much like that. Well, 6 if you count One Piece, but I don't know, I have to think about if I'm gonna ever finish One Piece. But besides manga, I did end up grabbing some other books. I grabbed these in stages, pretty much. The first of which was, I just was at the grocery store, and there's a little section in our grocery store near hygiene stuff and things, and it's all magazines, and they have a little turnstile thing with paperbacks in it, and I just kind of glanced at the paperbacks and saw that they had a Stephen King, so I know, at this point I have like, I don't know, 7, 8 of his books on my shelves that I haven't read yet, and I just keep acquiring more, so we'll come back to that. This is The Dead Zone. I have heard of it, but I didn't know what it was about. Basically, it's about this guy, Johnny. When he was 6, he had head trauma from an accident, and he would sometimes get these like hunches, like psychic hunches and stuff. When he is grown up, he survives another accident, this one far more horrific. Plunged him into a coma lasting 4.5 years. His special abilities push to the fore. He's come back from the void with an extraordinary gift that becomes his life's curse, presenting visions of what was and what will be for both the innocent and guilty alike. So he also encounters a ruthlessly ambitious and immoral man who promises a terrifying fate for all humanity, and Johnny must find a way to prevent a harrowing predestination from becoming reality. So this one sounds super cool, but also sounds like it will possibly give me a lot of anxiety. But still, super cool. This will probably end up on my fall TBR. And then I also had Coheed and Cambria. So I talked about them recently. Maybe. I don't know. They're a band that I really enjoy. The majority of their music is basically concept albums that are connected with a storyline that the lead, Claudio Sanchez, has written. I knew that several years ago they released a novel about it. I liked the band, but I wasn't like as deeply into it as I have been over the past couple of years. And so at the time I didn't like go grab the novel because I figured, well, I don't really know that much about the storyline and I'm gonna get lost and stuff like that, so I didn't bother. It is now really hard to find copies of that book. They don't sell it on their merch store anymore. Copies that I did find online were like upwards of like $200-300. So yeah, really hard to get a hold of that. I had heard that there were other stories involved, but I didn't know the full scope of it. There's a whole comic series that I wasn't aware existed. So I said, fuck it, let's look up this series, and I grabbed basically volume 1, which is, I think they actually might be smaller issues of comics, but this is like this edition has 10 issues of this particular group of stories. So yeah, I spent a lot of time looking up what stages should I go, and this looks like, besides a couple of like pre something or other stuff that's hard to locate, this might be the best place to start, really. So it's a nice edition. It is the Emery Wars Second Stage Turbine Blade, and the art is really intense and really cool. So this is by Claudio Sanchez, and then he's the creator and writer, and it's also got different artists and stuff involved in like different sections of this, so pretty cool. And if you know Coheed, you know that's a symbol that's important. Yeah, looks really cool. I'm pretty excited to read it. I don't know when I'm gonna have this on my reading list. This might be a fall one, this might be a winter one, I don't know. Then I was talking with like my friends. They're actually like my husband's friends, but I've also become friends with them, and a few of us are in like my writing group that I'm in. and one of our friends has recently, well, within like the past few months, has started dating someone new, and she's a writer, and she's actually published like a couple of novellas or like collections and stuff. So I ended up looking up her works and wanting to read it because it sounds really cool, and also because wanting to support another like up-and-coming writer. I figured I could grab it. So it's a novella called Sidewinder. It is by Marcella Haddad, and this is about a small desert town wrestling with the arrival of mysterious strangers and their prophetic portent that a prehistoric monster is on its way to devour their home. So it's about them kind of coping with that, and it's following Seja, who is a watcher protecting the city and is the descendant of a line of future tellers. So, sounds wicked cool. And then we have a few books that I ended up stress buying. Got very stressed, and what do I do when I'm stressed? Well, I either reorganize all of my books, but the house is kind of a mess right now because we've like moved things around and trying to get the basement finished and stuff like that, so couldn't really reorganize that much. I did a little bit, but not like a ton. And the other thing I do when I'm stressed is I end up buying more books. So yeah, these are the 5 books that I got. I got them on thrift books. So the first one actually is kind of what prompted the other buying, because I just kind of felt like I wanted to get some more stuff maybe, and I went and I looked online and I found that a book that I've wanted to get for a while but has always been just a little bit more money than I wanted to spend on it came down in price, so I grabbed it, and that is the graphic novel of Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. So the art is by Kuma-chan, and the story adaptation is by Crystal S. Chan, who I believe did the story adaptation for one of the other manga graphic novels that I own. So yeah, I was very excited about this. I really like these manga classics, and I think I'm probably going to make it a goal to collect more of these, especially maybe a couple of classics that I don't think I'm gonna actually read the books, but it would be nice to know more about the story, so I might just get the adaptation of them. Yeah, I've been wanting to get my hands on this for a while. I'm very excited about it. I might be reading this fairly soon, I think. Yeah, excited. And then I also ended up getting some more Stephen King. They had a copy of Danse Macabre, and I've been having my eye on it for a while, and finally was just like, ah, fuck it, let's get it. I don't really know much about this particular one, other than it's different than his usual. I believe this is stories, but also just him kind of writing about urban legends and other horror things, so it's not his usual like anthology collection. I believe it's a little bit different, so I'm pretty excited about that. I love the cover too. Look how spooky he looks. Speaking of the Kings, I have been wanting to read Joe Hill for a while, as there's a couple of his books that sound so cool, and I've had my eye on them for a very long time, but I've never like taken the plunge or anything, and I finally decided, you know what, fuck it, let's go for it. So of the books that there was, I decided to go with the one that I'm the most interested in, and is also the one that I have heard about the longest, and that is Nosferatu. This is about a girl named Victoria McQueen, and she has a knack for like finding lost things, or finding answers to unanswerable questions. And a secret that she has been keeping deep inside of herself is that when she was a kid, she was kidnapped by this guy who takes kids in like his creepy ass car, and he takes them away to Christmas Land, which is not as good as it might sound. She is the only person who ever managed to survive and escape from him, and he wants his revenge. So lots of creepy stuff. I have, honestly, that is a movie trailer that I have obsessively watched a lot. There's a few like movie or show trailers that sometimes I will just watch again because I'm like, man, I really want to watch that, but I just haven't gotten around to like seeing it, and Nosferatu is the series trailer is one of them. But I've never, I just haven't wanted to actually like find it anywhere or watch it because I want to read the book first. So pretty excited to read the book, and I've heard really good things about Joe Hill's writing as well, and I'm just super excited. This one will most definitely be a fall book. And again, the whole Christmas Land thing, maybe I'll put it towards like winter, like December or something like that, but I have a feeling it's going to be a fall book. Same with Dance Macabre, unless I give in to the urge to read King right now and I decide I'm going to read that. Yeah. Then I ended up grabbing up some more Hal Frank Mosher. This one is Where the Rivers Flow North, and this is actually a collection of 6 stories. Basically more exploration of Kingdom County, Vermont, which is way up north in Vermont near the Canadian border. In real life, it's mostly known as the Northeast Kingdom. This is, yeah, just like a collection of 6 stories. I'm having trouble remembering if I have read this before, because I feel like I remember this being a textbook that we read through for one of my classes in high school, but I could be entirely wrong. The thing that excites me, though, is there is one of the stories, the one that is actually a novella, which is the title, Where the Rivers Flow North. Apparently, it was made into a feature film starring Rip Torn, but it's also starring Michael J. Fox, who I adore with my whole heart and soul. So that's exciting to hear, because now I'm obviously going to have to, like, you know, find this movie. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Just based on the cover, this might end up being a winter read. And then the last book that I ended up grabbing is actually a second book in a 2-book duology, and it is a sort of non-fiction book. Kind of non-fiction, historical fiction. It's hard to explain. The book is The Glorious Cause, and it's by Jeff Shara. I have probably mentioned the first book, but I don't think I talk about it that much because I read it before I started like my booktube channel. The Revolutionary War is one of my special interests, which you can probably tell by me talking about Hamilton sometimes, but it's just a time period that I'm like really interested in, and I like learning more about it, and I like learning more about different people from it. Like when I was reading some works by Thomas Paine, I love Thomas Paine, so yeah, I'm very interested in that kind of thing, and several years ago I just wanted to read more about the Revolutionary War, and I found this book called Rise to Rebellion by Jeff Shara. It's out on my nonfiction shelf. It was really interesting because it doesn't read like your normal like textbook or anything like that. It is the author, he's definitely using historical facts, like historical dates and events and things like that, and he definitely is like talking about or referencing and using varying materials to get like a closer point of view and a look at different historical figures. So he's got like letters and essays and different like things known about all of these like historical figures, but it almost reads more like a novel. It is called A Novel of the American Revolution because it reads more like a novel because it's him getting into the heads of the historical figures. So like part of that first book follows Sam Adams, part of it follows John and Abigail Adams, part of it follows Benjamin Franklin, and it kind of gets into like their head and their point of view at like this time and stuff. So it's nonfiction, but not, because he's kind of like writing them like they're characters and political figures and heroes and stuff like that, in like, I don't know, an action adventure historical piece novel, but it's actually like real people, and he's done his research and he's writing them based on what we know through their writing and through others, what they were like, and different events in history and stuff like that. So it's unique, I think, or the most unique like history text I've read anyway. So Rise to Rebellion is actually like the beginnings of like the rise to the rebellion. So like unrest and the taxation without representation, you know, the whole everything, the Boston Tea Party, the shots at like Lexington and Concord, the Paul Revere, everything. It's like everything leading up to and like the beginnings of the Revolutionary War. And I really enjoyed it. I found it to be really interesting, really page-turning. I was like really sucked into this, and I mean, I like reading about this stuff, so it's not usually like a struggle for me to read about it, but it was the most page-turning like history text I've ever read, because it does read more like a novel. And I was kicking around on Goodreads and realized, you know, I was looking for more nonfiction books and everything, and I kind of clicked on this author and Rise to Rebellion and realized that that's only book 1, there was book 2, which I hadn't known about. So this is book 2. It is thicker than Rise to Rebellion because this follows the entirety of the Revolutionary War. So same kind of deal. It'll read like a novel, but it's the whole of the war. Looks like it follows George Washington, and Nathan Hale, Benedict Arnold, William Howe, Harry Lee, and yeah, it just follows a whole bunch of like historical figures from their point of view, and does like the whole war. So that's wicked cool. I don't know when I will get to this, because I think before I read this, I think I'm gonna want to do like a reread of Rise to Rebellion. So this one might be like further down on my TBR than the others that I got recently, but I am pretty excited to have a new like Revolutionary War text, and yes, I've added yet another nonfiction book to my stack. It's getting legitimately out of control. Like I think my focus next year might be shifting to trying to read as many nonfiction books as possible, because my nonfiction section is legitimately out of control. Guys, that is everything that I got recently. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you are interested in any of these. Like I said, I think a lot of these books I'll probably try to get to in this year, except for maybe this last one. That one might be a next year thing, but I say that and my mood has been crazy, so you know, I might shift entirely in focus. But yeah, let me know if there's any of these that you're really interested in hearing more about when I get around to reading them, and let me know if you've read any of these, if you enjoy them, if you hated them, but no spoilers please. I mean, I guess you can spoil this last book, because I mean, I know what happened, obviously. Anyway, that's everything. We've made a lot of progress also on the basement and the library. I've just got that last little bit to finish up, and then, yeah, hopefully I'll have more updates and things for you, and I'm really hoping that we'll be getting to a place where I can actually get down to actually, like, decorating and setting up all of my books and things like that, and I can actually show you guys, hopefully by the end of this year. I don't know, I'm hoping, but yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for always watching. If you're new here and would like to subscribe, please do so. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.